The film start with a mysterious man standing in front of a child hospital bed he is called Father. The scene then switch to a man his name is Ladybug. In order to retrieve a briefcase from a bullet train traveling from Tokyo to Kyoto, Ladybug, a former professional assassin, is given the assignment by his handler Maria Beetle when her usual contact Carver is forced to cancel. Unbeknownst to Ladybug, there are 3 other murderers on board, including the seemingly innocent schoolgirl the Prince and the hitmen Tangerine and Lemon. White Death, the leader of the biggest criminal organization in the world who had previously taken over the Japanese underworld, has hired Tangerine and Lemon. The brothers are transporting both the abducted son of the criminal lord as well as the suitcase carrying his $10 million ransom to Kyoto. The Prince, who had just shoved a little kid from a building, calls in another assassin, Yuichi Kimura, to the train. The Prince coerces Kimura into helping her carry out her plan, which entails arming the bag and Kimura's gun with explosives to murder White Death, knowing that the Prince associate is waiting at the hospital to kill his son if Kimura doesn't comply. The scene then switched to the Wolf, another assassin, who shows up looking for retribution for the poisoning deaths of his wife and his whole cartel at their wedding. He attacks Ladybug thinking he is the one responsible for all the death at the wedding. The two begin to fight and the Wolf ultimately dies at the hands of Ladybug. The brothers discover White Death's kid poisoned to death after realizing the briefcase is gone. Ladybug tries to reason with Lemon but is ultimately forced to restrain him, leading Tangerine to assume that Ladybug is to blame. The Hornet, the poisoner who slaughtered everyone at the Wolf's wedding and was paid to kill the White Death's kid. When Ladybug stumbles into her, she injects Ladybug with boomslang venom, but he responds by injecting her as well. He then injects himself with her last anti-venom, thus leaving her to die without anti-venom. When Tangerine and Ladybug are at a deadlock, Ladybug forces Tangerine off the train after attempting to persuade White Death's men that his son and the briefcase are secure. Lemon, who is wary of Kimura and the Prince, kills Kimura, but he later falls victim to a bottle of water that Ladybug laced and is killed by the Prince. Tangerine discovers his brother's body when returning to the train, confronts the Prince, but is fatally shot during a struggle with Ladybug. As the elder, the father of Kimura, enters the train, he exposes himself to be a former Yakuza lieutenant whose wife and family were slaughtered during the ascent of White Death. He and Ladybug discover Kimura and Lemon still alive after having the Prince's colleagues slain to ensure his grandson's protection. They then get ready for the ambush that is going to befall them. When the train reaches Kyoto, White Death and his troops welcome Ladybug. The Prince, who turns out to be the enraged daughter of White Death, tries to provoke him into pulling the trigger on Kimura's booby-trapped gun, but he refuses, telling her she was never a part of his scheme. According to the White Death, he hired every killer on the train as payback for the death of his wife. His wife was asked to bail out their son from jail when Tangerine and Lemon butchered his guys during a job in Bolivia. Carver then killed her with the intent to kill her husband. Additionally, the Hornet poisoned the surgeon who was supposed to save his wife, ensuring her demise by eliminating the one person who could have done so. White Death set up all the assassins, including the Wolf and Ladybug, who mistakenly replaced Carver on the train, to kill each other and his son while blaming the brothers, Carver, the Hornet, and his own son. The suitcase bomb detonates before White Death can murder Ladybug, throwing them both into the train, which Lemon then restarts. The Elder and White Death square off as the train careens out of control, while Kimura and Ladybug fend off his goons. The train derails when Lemon knocks a criminal off of it into the river below, slamming into a nearby town. White Death is holding Ladybug at knife point. Kimura's pistol bursts as he attempts to shoot Ladybug, killing him in the process. The deadly Prince confronts Ladybug, Kimura, and his father before being ran over by Lemon in a truck hauling tangerines. Ladybug, who has fully adopted a cheerful attitude on life, is saved by Maria when she arrives. This video ends here. If you enjoy our video, don't forget to subscribe, like and hit the notification button so you won't miss any of our video, and let us know your thoughts about this movie in the comments, and we will see you next time. Take care.